My life of sport, my life of sport. Here we are. Welcome everyone. Bloody cold here in Melbourne tonight. Just got to get my Collingwood scarf, Wallabies jersey. Hope everyone is well tonight. Welcome to my very first live chat show, My Life of Sport, where I talk about sport and life. Actually, it's basically the Joe Rogan Show without weed. We're going to go live to you from Ginger Studios here in Melbourne. And you can watch this from the comfort of your bed or toilet on Instagram Live every Wednesday night. I'll be at Gavin_Ingham_comedy and be replayed later on Facebook and YouTube, hopefully later turned into a podcast. So thank you so much, each and every one of you, for turning into episode 1. Tonight, if you're joining us, please give me a wave during the show and write in the comments where you're tuning in from. It'll be great to hear from each and every one of you. My first ever guest on the show tonight is a friend of mine. He's a comedian and football runs in his veins. Let me introduce to you Matt O'Neill. Oh, there he is.
Can you hear me?
Sorry?
I'm going good, mate. You? Can you hear me all right?
Mate, I can certainly hear you. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I had this all set up with a tripod, but it wouldn't work the way I had it set up, so now I have to hold it.
Okay, well, we'll try to get through the show in about 20 seconds so your arm doesn't get sore.
Well, it's just going to be documentary style, that's all.
Oh, yeah? Blair Witch? Witch Project?
Blair Witch Project, yeah. It's going to be pretty scary.
It's not coming out of the nose. Be beautiful. How have you been since lockdown? Coronavirus. I've been watching a bit of TV. I've had all my gigs and comedy taken in for the whole year in a period of about 2 to 3 hours. The phone didn't stop ringing, and I've been watching TV ever since. Been watching Gardening Australia. I don't really garden, but it's become my favourite TV show at the minute. What have you been up to?
I tell you what, same watching stuff. I tell you what, I watch Bargain Hunt.
Why?
We're big Bargain Hunt fans in the O'Neill family. The kids love it. I love it.
Is it an American show or is it a...
No, it's English. Tim Wonnacott.
Oh, right.
But
okay.
Yeah, it's just they go around like antique roadshow type things, buying like antiques and
Rubbish.
try and get a bargain at the essentially, and try and get a bargain at the auction, and they always fail. But for some reason we love it. That's the thing, though. I reckon when you do comedy and you say like, "Oh, has anyone seen so and so film?" And like some people in the audience will go, "Yeah, I've seen, Silence of the Lambs or whatever it is." I reckon now everyone has seen everything. By the time lockdown is finished, everyone's like, "Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen everything. I've seen everything." You reckon everyone's finished
Netflix? You finished it, clocked it.
Netflix, Stan, YouTube, everyone will have finished it. That's it, done. So everything will be, everything will be relevant. You'll be able to say anything, and people will be able to relate to it no matter what. That's what I reckon, anyway.
Is that where the accents come from, Matt? It's because you've been watching all these British shows, or?
That's it. I've just been watching.
Going to keep up? You're going to do it the whole show? Can we not do it? Or
I've just been watching Heartbeat. That's it. Just repeats of Heartbeat over and over again. That's all it is.
Beautiful.
No, I was originally from the UK, but I've been here a long time. I've been here since I was 14.
Yeah, so right. Still got the accent.
That's pretty. Still do, yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, welcome to the show. First thing I want to do is give a big thank you to our sponsors. And Matt, if you can guess what the sponsor is, then you might get a prize. It's a food. It's something that can go on a sandwich. What do you reckon?
Like a sauce?
No, not a sauce. It's an item that can go on. Bread can go on a sandwich, sure, but I don't know how.
Definitely.
What else
can't get more sandwich than bread.
It's pretty true. Can I have a bread sandwich, thanks? Gluten-free.
Well,
what can go on a sandwich? What would you like on a sandwich? If you can guess this, then you will big shout out to our sponsors.
If you were asking me what sandwich I'd like right now, I'd say bacon sandwich.
That's our official sponsor for the episode, is bacon.
There you go.
Well done.
Just
well done.
like not a company, just bacon.
Yeah, absolutely. You
bacon
get a
in general.
year's supply of bacon. You just need to go down to the Bacon Man and tell him I sent you, and he'll hook you up.
But I'll let you in on a little secret. I already have a year's supply of bacon. I don't have a year's supply of bacon. That's brilliant. Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Awesome, man! Congratulations. So, thank you to our sponsors for this episode, Bacon. So let me give you a rundown of the show, Matt. See if you've got anything. You might not have anything to say. You might have nothing to tell me, and so I just want to give you a bit of a rundown. So this show is called My Life of Sport, and basically my life, sport has been a constant. And I'm a professional. I'm not a professional sportsman. Actually, I don't know why I was going to say that.
Okay.
But
I was going to say me too then.
Hashtag. And I found that sport has always been in my life. It's never really parted ways with me. And I didn't even realise that I made, since Corona has come in, a living from sport. Being a court announcer for NBL, WNBL, basketball, and stadium announcer at Marvel Stadium. And I run my own historical walking tour about sport. And I didn't realise how much sport was in my life until now that sport's been taken away from us. And so my philosophies of life generally come from sport. If you have a bad comedy gig, I just think, it's just a bad game. I missed a goal, better luck next week. I should try harder at training and stop being a fat shit. The usual. So I noticed a lot of the friends that I really like, similar to me, they're interested in sport as well. So I made a list, and there were heaps of them, and the ones that sport is in their blood. And I couldn't think of anyone better to kick us off for episode 1 than you yourself, Matt O'Neill. So I'd like to thank you again. That's basically what the show is. Sport influences most of my life.
All the sports you're wearing right now, your rugby top, the AFL hat, are all sports I couldn't give two shits about. So I think it's...
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. That's the first and last episode of My Life of Sport. Really? Okay, we'll certainly get into that.
My son plays basketball, and it breaks my heart that he's playing basketball. And I, as a result, as someone who's just turned 40 a few months ago, whatever, I've started to try and play basketball as well. And I shot two three-pointers in a row the other day. Is that normal, or that's pretty good, isn't it?
Well, it's normal in the sense that beginner's luck, and you kind of just, you're not thinking about anything else and just zen. So you maybe watch The Last Dance on Netflix, the Jordan Bulls docu.
Is it good?
It's tremendous. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. Been a bit busy the last few days when it came out. The episode 3 and 4 came out. But if you're same age as me, so the 90s. It's all about the 90s. Seeing Jordan in horrible outfits. It's fashion.
Yeah. No, that'll be... Yeah, I'll check it out. We'll watch it together because, like I said, I have no interest. I'm so sorry. And that's nothing against those sports. I tell you one thing I have. As I've got older, I've come to respect all sports, but I just don't follow any of them. Yeah, right. But it's just respect. Then there used to be just hate. Like, I couldn't understand why anyone would like anything other than just football, as in soccer. But now I don't mind sports. And the only other sport I have a slight love for is cricket. And that didn't happen until I was about 18. So I'm not like my brothers. They love all sports, and they're really good at all sports. Whereas I was just kind of all right at football, and that was it. So I think that's one of the maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't like any other sport. I'm guessing you're probably all right at all these sports.
I go all right, but I'm a towering 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. So I've gone to the entertainment side of football. But yeah, basically on this show, I just want to know my guests' sport history, then their career history, and if those two are combined. For me, life and sport really feed each other. So I've broken this down to like a game. So let us start. Let's get ready for game time. Let's go. First quarter. kick off round one. So quick rundown test for you, Matt, to test your reflexes. So your name.
Oh, the hard one, straight off the top. That Matt O'Neill.
Cool. Favourite sport?
Football, soccer, I guess.
Right,
soccer. We'll call it soccer for the... I'm guessing it's mainly going to be Australians listening, watching.
Yeah, well,
soccer.
You can call it football. It's a bit of an education happening in the show. Your
how about,
favourite
real football?
Favourite sport? Real football. Well, your favourite
Real
sport?
football. Yes, football.
Real football. Favourite sports person?
Real football. Oh, that would be probably Paul Gascoigne, Gaza.
Oh, okay. And I play a bit dumb here. He's from inside football, soccer football?
He's real football, yeah. He was probably one of England's best players the last few decades, centuries.
So what about outside of the sport of football? Who is your favourite sports person?
Oh, man. It would probably be cricket. I'd probably say,
Freddie Flintoff.
Flintoff was great. I actually Shane Warne.
Yeah, okay.
Just because of how brilliant he was. And a little bit of Graham Swan, because he was a cocky spinner as well for England when we were doing well.
All right. So who is your favourite sporting team? What are you wearing? You look like you're from Christmas.
I'm wearing my Middlesbrough hat and my Middlesbrough shirt from 1992.
Jeez, authentically from 1992. That's from 1992?
No, this is. I have an authentic 1992 one in the cupboard. This is a replica that the club released about 5 years ago of the 1992 one. But it was one of my favourites.
It'll rip. It's pretty old.
It wouldn't fit. That's for sure. Let me tell you right now. 12-year-old Matt compared to 40-year-old Matt's very different.
What's your favourite current player on Middlesbrough?
I'm going to say a lad called Tavernier. He plays. Okay. He's a young guy. Plays midfield. We're not really that good at the moment, so I'm kind of hoping that the season gets cancelled. They're talking about that possibly happening in the UK.
Yeah, I think it is
because we're like a few points outside the relegation zone in Division 1, which is the division below the Premier League. So I'm more than happy for the season just to stop. And also, I think it would be kind of funny just to see Liverpool fans go nuts. They deserve it. Liverpool, don't get me wrong, Liverpool should just be given the cup now, but I just kind of like to see them get angry.
Oh, they're pretty dominant this year. I think I was looking, EPL's
really completely.
Top of my...
Yeah.
So what is your favourite historical player? Well, I don't really follow them, but we'll find out a bit later who the rivals are. Who's your favourite historical player from the borough, Middlesbrough?
From the borough, that's an easy one. That's a guy called Wilf Mannion, pre-World War II, post-World War II player, possibly one of the best around in the world at the time. Then played for England, Great Britain. Middlesbrough nearly won the league, and then World War II started. We were third just as the war broke out, so that stopped the league as well as a pandemic. And my son is named after him. So that's pretty full on, isn't it? Yeah, named after child. He's called Wilf, obviously. So he's named after. And there's a statue of Wilf Mannion out the front of the Riverside Stadium. So it's pretty
tremendous. Cool. I think we've got a picture of. I've got a picture here somewhere. Here we go. There's you. I think. I don't know if I can.
That's me.
Yeah,
that's me. That's me drinking a drink called Bovril.
My face is in the way.
No, that's all right. That's where the drink is, but it's called Bovril, and Bovril is a hot drink served at the football in England. And Bovril is essentially, imagine like a hot drink version of Vegemite, which it sounds disgusting, and it kind of is the first time you have it. But there's just something where you just kind of warm to it, and it just becomes part of your trip out to the football.
It's kind of like gravy, yeah, drinkable gravy.
Yeah, very watered down gravy. That sounds disgusting, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bovril. It sounds disgusting as well. Bovril. Yeah.
I don't know how to get rid of that picture now.
That would be funny if it's there forevermore. Like even like when you're interviewing other people, that's just there. You know
Call
what I
my
mean?
mum on. She's just learnt to do video chat, so I'll give her a call. And who's that? Have you got someone special in your life? No, it's Bovril. Leave me alone.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's special, all right. Don't you worry, Mum. He's
we're the
very
same age.
special.
It's all right. So
Yeah.
convince me. Here's your chance. Convince me and our listeners to follow Middlesbrough. Why should you follow Middlesbrough? What is it about them?
Well, do you know what? First of all, we're full on working class team. We've only ever won one cup in our 130 odd year history. Like one cup, which was in 2004, which is amazing to think I've been alive during that. We've been to one European Cup final as well recently. Not recently. I say recently. It's recent for me, but in 2006. But the reason I would suggest you guys should get on board of it in Australia is I reckon we lay claim to having the most Australian players English teams ever had, possibly.
Who?
We've had a lot. So we had the very first one, Craig Johnson. He played for Middlesbrough before playing for Liverpool. So Liverpool signed him from Middlesbrough.
Right.
We've had Swarcher, Viduka, Vidmar, Ocon, Wiltshire, Jones.
Is this the training squad
Williams
for the Socceroos? Is this what Middlesbrough is?
This was at one point there. We had a team with Ocon, Vidmar, and Swarcher playing. So that was 3 Australians on the pitch in the Premier League at one point. And we always got overlooked, like, because Kuhl and Viduka were at Leeds, and obviously we got Viduka eventually from Leeds. But because Kuhl was at Leeds, I think that was it was kind of always overshadowed. But we've had quite a number of Australian players through the years.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's not bad, is it?
No,
it's probably the reason. It's probably the reason you're shit now. Probably has a lot to do with us. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. We'll figure.
But yeah, that's pretty good reason, don't you think? It's often overlooked that. But
we'll put it on the scoreboard. So how did you come to support the Borough? Why are they called the Smoggies? I did a bit of research. It's called the Smoggies.
Yeah, so it's an industrial area. And if you can imagine, with all the big chimneys and stuff, we have all the steelworks and the like ICI and things like that, just pumping out pollution, I guess. Hence the term smoggies. I'll tell you something. This is interesting. You know the film Blade Runner?
Yeah.
You know the opening of Blade Runner, where like all the flames shoot up across the cities, this like futuristic cityscape. That's
Middlesbrough.
Ridley Scott based that on Middlesbrough because he used to live near there and ride his bike past the industrial works, and that's where it looks like at night with flames shooting up and like all this billowing smoke. So that's where he got the inspiration for that shot. There you go.
Oh, that's incredible.
There's another reason to go for Middlesbrough, because it's Blade Runner. It's one of the greatest films ever.
So they've done nothing on the football pitch, but as far as culture around the world, they're doing amazing things. The Borough. So how did you come to support? How did you come to support Borough? Like, when do you remember first supporting them? Was it about football, or something happened on the pitch, or was also your family? Like, how does it play out in your family? Was there a player or a moment that happened in Middlesbrough history?
No. The moment was just being born there and having parents, and all our family hail from Middlesbrough. So that's one thing. When I came out to Australia, going to school when I was 14, and talking, everyone's just talking about AFL. I couldn't grasp the concept of just going for a team and not being from that place. Like, it didn't make sense to me. Like, there were guys going for Sydney Swans, even though I understand they were once South Melbourne, but like it was alien to me to see someone in Melbourne not going for Melbourne Demons. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just kind of figured everyone in Melbourne would go for Melbourne Demons, because in the UK, maybe not so much with Man United supporters or Liverpool supporters, but very much so with other teams of the stature of Middlesbrough. If you were born there, that's who you go for. It's as simple as that. So that's the reason we went for them, because it's definitely not really got it's not a fashionable club in the sense of of competing and winning trophies all the time. So yeah, that's the main reason. Is just purely was born there.
Oh, there you go. And how does it play out in your family? How does that go? Do your siblings, parents, cousins support Middlesbrough as well?
We all go for Middlesbrough. Yeah, simple as that. When we go home, that's it. No one doesn't go for them. My sister has. Yeah, well, look, we joke about that, and that wouldn't be the case at all. But everyone just, I don't know, because you get taken to a game as well when you're young. Like, I think I went to my first game when I was, I'm going to say 7 or 8. And, it stays with you. But I'd been to football before that. I'd been to see Aberdeen in Scotland because that's where we lived until I was 14 and moved out here. So I have a soft spot for Aberdeen, but it was, Middlesbrough also have the Premier League and things like that. And by 1994, we were spending big money, like the same type of money as Man United were at that time. Jeez. So we suddenly burst onto the scene for a few seasons, and we were signing like guys who had just won the European Cup the season before, and really raising eyebrows across the world, really. So it was quite an exciting time then as well to be a Borough fan.
And then you signed Australians.
And then we went from European Cup winners to Australians. So
all right, I'm coming around a little bit. Collingwood was a very industrial area. It is. A lot of smog in the air. A lot of low self-esteem because of that, and they needed a club to sort of get them through in the early part of the 1900s, late 1800s. Amazing.
Captain Cook was born there.
I did read that.
I'm not sure. That's kind of contentious, isn't it?
I'd say so. Absolutely. For some people, I think even if you're a supporter of it, I think it's like, it's a big thing, And if you're not a supporter of Captain Cook, then it's a big thing.
He was just working on orders, though, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's for your other show, the history show.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're going into quarter 2 now. Play on. So I want to know your top 5 players for Middlesbrough, historically or now.
Oh yeah, that's pretty easy, historically and now. So that would be a guy called Juninho, a little Brazilian who came to us in 96, 97. He was Brazil's player of the year at the time, so that was incredible to get someone like him. This is what
Middlesbrough how much are they paying these awesome players to come?
Well, that guy, he only cost 4 million, which was a big money at the time. But he was just like, we adopted him as our own. He's like everyone's favorite player is Juninho, and he was incredible. I mean, he went on to win the World Cup in South Korea. He was part of that Brazilian team that won it. But he was a hell of a player. Juninho, a guy called Bernie Slavin, who was like one of our highest goal scorers when we were down not in the lower leagues, but just when we were doing it rough. He was kind of a bit of a hero. Fox in the box is what they would call him. Wilf Mannion, obviously, just because of the legend status. A guy called Graham Souness, who's a Scottish guy. He went on to play for Liverpool as well. He's a legend. And the other guy I'd say is it's between Paul Gascoigne and Brian Robson, and they both didn't have their best years in them when they were at the club, but just their status beyond the game, and with other teams, they're kind of two of the best players that have ever pulled on a shirt, but they were way past their best by then.
Poor Middlesbrough, a bit of heartbreak. And as Collingwood,
always.
32 years Collingwood went without a premiership. They were in 9 grand finals and didn't lose a single one. From 1958 was their last premiership in that era, and then 1990 when it became the AFL from the VFL. So 9 grand finals, drawn grand final, and then replay and lost. So I think I'm liking Middlesbrough.
Aren't you guys the Man United though? Aren't you like a Man United of?
Maybe supporter base, passionate for want of a better word, and supporter base all around the world. Absolutely, I had a really good friend of mine got married, and he went with his wife over to Positano, and he's walking on the beach, and he's wearing his stupid Brisbane Lions Guernsey on. And this was in 2007, and someone yells out, "You guys lost to Essendon last night!" And he turned around, and it was some bloke in a Collingwood jersey. So we're everywhere, absolutely everywhere. We're over 1 million supporters worldwide.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah. So when did you come to, it's a bit about you personally, when did you come to Australia? How old were you? You touched on it before.
Yeah, I was 14, just turned 14. I mean, we actually left Aberdeen on my 14th birthday. That was it.
Was that good on your 14th birthday? Were you happy about that?
At the time I was, because
Did you get stabbed?
No, no. At the time I was happy. We left Aberdeen to go to Middlesbrough and stay there for a couple of months till we headed out to Australia for good. And yeah, I don't know. The funny thing is, like, going to school here. Like, I went from a real working class kind of like school, like, just, you know, it was just it was called a grammar school, but grammar school over there wasn't like private. It was just any bugger went. And we got shoved in a Catholic boys' school here in Melbourne, private school, and that was just really weird. From going from co-ed to all boys. In fact, it's St. Kevin's, you know, the one that's been on the news the last few months with all the it was that school. Really lovely school. And the first 3 days I spoke to absolutely nobody, and I was like, I was almost in tears all the time, you know, like not in front of anyone, but like fighting back tears the whole time. And my old man said, "Why don't you take a football with you on the third day?" Took a football with me, and then suddenly at lunchtime, like, all these lads came down, started kicking about, and it turned out I was like the best player at the school. So I was instant, like, not hero status, but like, I guess some sort of level of respect. This guy came over. Mute.
You didn't talk. Yeah, this guy's really good at football, but he doesn't talk.
I talked with my feet, spoke with my feet, whatever. And this guy came over and asked me to go down and play for a team, Boleyn, which is like a big Italian club here in Melbourne.
Mark Bresciano played for that club, is it?
So yeah. So do you want me to tell that story? That's a bit of a strange one.
Sure, but I think I got another picture here. When this is you at a young age, you had kids at a very young age.
A very young age, yeah. Do you know that picture is actually that's like about a week before we left. My mum got that photo. Yeah, I think I don't know why she had the photo taken. It was just before we left, but that's me with my brothers and sister.
You're looking a bit nervous in your eyes there, like, oh, what's going to happen? I'm going to Australia.
I think my sister shit herself. I think that's why I'm looking like that. But the funny thing is, the baby. Yeah, the baby. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? You see the brother on the other side, his hair. Yeah. My hair is not too dissimilar to that now. As of lockdown, it has gone absolutely wild. So yeah,
looking very much like Hagrid.
Yeah, that's the look I'm going for, man. That's the look I'm going for.
With the business shirts and the ties, it looks like a family photo. Like that's your husband, your husband up here, you had two kids at the age of 14.
Two little shits. Look at that. That's our school uniform. That's how ragbag it was. It was just whatever. Different coloured shirts, different tie. Just a bit of a mess. So yeah, to come out here to St. Kevin's, that was an eye opener on many levels. Not on George Pell levels, but yeah, many levels.
Well, they have interesting punishment if you don't get your grammar right at St. Kevin's. Yeah. So how was that in Australia? You're following EPL, or it wasn't EPL. What year was this?
Yeah, 94. So it was Premier League.
It was just Premier League, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had the 94 World Cup. So that was
good video game. Very good Sega Mega Drive. Very good video game.
Oh, classic! Absolute classic.
The
soccer games are pretty good on the old PlayStations and
absolutely,
and Nintendos, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I did love.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I did love when we came out. Now this might surprise you. Me and my brother absolutely loved the AFL game on Nintendo. Oh,
it was one of the best. These latest incarnations are pretty
amazing.
Rubbish.
Amazing. Out of bounds on the full. Loved it.
Out of bounds on the full.
Absolutely loved it. And that was the only thing that I kind of liked about AFL. So that was weird. I liked the game, but just not the video game, but not the game. Anyway, sorry.
So how was that following soccer? So you come out here and it's called soccer, and one, that might have been weird. Two, you're not following one of the bigger clubs like Man U, Man City, Arsenal. I'd imagine they were the top clubs.
Liverpool, yeah.
Liverpool, yeah, of course. And how was that for you? And did you have to connect back with people back home through Middlesbrough to sort of keep the passion alive?
Do you know what? No, but because I guess it's like
and where'd you get your footy fix? Where'd you get your footy fix too?
Footy fix back then was absolutely impossible. Like it was ridiculous. Funny thing is, when we got picked up at the airport by a taxi driver, we were keen to know what sports were popular here because we didn't even know about AFL or anything like that. And the taxi driver said to us, I shit you not, this is what he said. He said, the biggest sport in Australia is 10-pin bowling. And yeah, can you imagine that? I mean, maybe he was just really into 10-pin bowling and trying to spread the love of it, but he was an older guy and he was like, 10-pin bowling's massive here. That's the sport for this country. And we were like, me and my brother were like, what the hell? This is shit. We got to the hotel where we were going to be living for a couple of months in the city centre, and we put the TV on, and the first thing that came on TV... Yeah, straight away. We were ahead of the game. We were doing Brexit before everyone, and we were doing pandemic before everyone. But we got in there, switched the TV on, and the first thing that came on was soccer. It was the SBS World Game Show with and Mark Viduka. Mark Viduka was playing for Melbourne Knights. So we were kind of like, we didn't realise soccer was even a thing here. This is great. But then we soon found out that AFL was the king. And no one gave a shit then about football, and definitely didn't give a shit. I hadn't even heard of Middlesbrough, even though that's where Captain Cook came from. No one had heard of Middlesbrough, so yeah, it was. I didn't really know that either. About it. Yeah, I find that bizarre. It's because it's your history or part of it, big part of it, kind of.
Yeah, we just knew he came from England. His cottage is here. I don't know how that works. In
it even says on his cottage it's been
Middlesbrough
taken brick from Middlesbrough. Yeah, which is probably a good thing, to be honest, because we just use it to prop up cars, the bricks. So at least it's being used for something good, I guess.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, yeah.
So then, skip forward a bit of time in the DeLorean, and how did you then start in comedy? How did that sort of go? I've got a picture here from, I think, one of your first ever productions in comedy. You were William Wallace the musical, I think.
William Wallace, yeah, that was for Our Freedom. Interesting thing with that one, I'm actually not wearing any underwear.
Isn't that's the way though?
No, I was wearing underwear. That's my brother's wedding, and for some reason he wanted to wear. Actually, I know the reason is he was born in Scotland, and he clings to that. I think he was watching before. I don't know if he still is, but
he knows the story. He knows the story.
Nah, it was fun. It was fun wearing. He actually owns that. That's the guy standing at the very front. Obviously, that's what they normally do at weddings. They get the guy who's getting married to stand at the front of them, It's not the guy at the back. That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Who's the guy next to you on the other side? He looks like a bit of a rocker / stoner.
He's a doctor in London. He's like saving the world at the moment from COVID, probably.
Yeah, well, amazing.
And but the guy at the front, that's Andy, and he's a very good soccer player. Yeah, I don't know why he went. He owns that whole kilt though. We hired ours. He owns that whole thing.
Jeez. So then, how did you get into comedy, and what did your career start out in comedy, and then where's it sort of at the moment, you feel?
Well, it's at the level where I'm on this, Gavin. I'm not sure what that says. No,
we had 6 viewers. I looked away, and now we've got 5.
No, it's got 5.
Take 2.5.
That's.
I'll take the other 2.5.
That's what he said. That was probably my brother. He's probably like, nah, screw him. He's giving shit to me. I mean, I wanted to do comedy since I was 16, but I went and saw Jim Owen live in St Kilda at some theatre there, like 2,000 people. It was Jim Owen, Glenn Robbins, Bob Franklin, and Dave O'Neill. And this Dave O'Neill died the worst death I've ever seen a comedian have, and it scared the shit out of me. Like, we're talking, like, you know what dying's like. I know what dying's like. Everyone knows what dying's like, but it normally happens maybe like at an open mic in front of audience of 7 people. This was in front of 2,000 people, and it was just dead silence.
And they were paying audience. Paying audience,
yeah. And Jim Owen and Glenn Robbins and Bob Franklin had absolutely destroyed. And then this one guy came out in the middle, and just it was such a horrendous death. And it was very early in Dave O'Neill's career, but I mean silence, and then it got unbearable. And then someone in the audience shouted out, "Get off your shit!" and then he struggled through one more joke and then just walked off to silence.
Whoa!
And that scared me, man. Like that was the thing, because it was either like I really wanted to give comedy a go, but I was also very much into my football at the time as well. So I didn't gather up enough balls to do it until I was about 37. And I went and did that School of Hard Knocks course, the first one they ever had. And then I didn't get up and do stand-up for another year because I was busy with work. And also I realized, I went to the Comics Lounge and saw a guy called Joe Green get up at a workshop, and he was so good. And I remember thinking, geez, if that's the level, I've really got to go away and study and work hard, yeah. And that's what I did. So that's why I ended up doing it a year later, and it's been fun since then, man. Like, I think probably the highlight's been opening for a guy called Steve Hughes. Sorry, I'm just plugging my phone in before it does.
Tremendous.
Steve Hughes at the F&M. Yeah.
Great achievement. It's amazing.
The wife and I were watching a documentary on Bill Cosby. 10 minutes in, she fell asleep, and I thought, fuck, he's good.
So, that's it, man. That's kind of like where the comedy career is. It's here with you and 5 viewers. Do we count as 2 viewers because we're viewing this? I'm gonna say
no, just because it might be a little too heartbreaking. That might be time for half time. Have you got your oranges? Oh no, it's there. Have you got your oranges for half time?
No, I'm back. Yeah.
Have you got oranges for half time?
I don't have. I tell you what I have got. I've lost it. Where's it gone? Hold on. I didn't have any oranges. I had a carrot. Here it is.
Orange. All right, we'll half-time oranges. All right, so give us a half-time spray. Pump us up for the second half. Get us over the line, please, sir.
Get us over that. You want me to pump you up? Does that photo not do enough for you? Just remember what he said in Braveheart. That should be enough. I tell you what, we're 10-0 down at the moment. That's what it feels like.
We're consistent with 5, but I've got another photo of you successful. This is how successful you've turned.
That was with the F&A money. That's what that was.
You did a Photoshop course with that money, did you?
That's what I did. Yeah, a bad Photoshop course. I'd be the worst person to do a halftime spiel, man. There was a soccer team I played for once, and we only had 8 players turn up. And unbelievably, at halftime, we were winning 1-0. And this is like in the under 15s, under 16s. And at halftime, the coach was like, "Well done, everyone, doing a great job. I can't believe we're winning 1-0." And I put my hand up and said, I reckon we should all just leave right now. And two of the kids were like, yeah, let's do it. Like we all just pile in like some of the dad's cars who were there, just drive off as like heroes that had got to half time, winning 1-0 with just 8 players. Now we didn't. We went out and played and we got beat 4-1. So maybe I was right. But
yeah, you wouldn't have lost the game if you left.
no, well, we would have forfeited, which would have been 3-0. I think a forfeit's 3-0, automatic 3-0. But
That's
the fact is, we were winning 1-0. You know what I mean? We had the better of them for a whole half with just 8 players.
And you thought, I think we can do it.
No, I don't think we could do it. I thought, I think we should leave. That was my thing.
Get out while you're ahead. Yeah. All right. We're going to go for. We're going to the third quarter now. Charge. All right. So we've got a quick fire 10 questions for a quiz about Middlesbrough to see how well you do know Middlesbrough. We've got another photo to inspire you here. You growing up, yeah.
Oh yeah, indoor soccer. There you go.
That's you up there. What's that? Is that Rangers? Inspired by the Rangers?
Oh, that could earn you a slit throat in Glasgow, my friend. That's Celtic. That's the other one.
I need to do some more research.
If you can edit live, I'd do it now.
All right, well, they have to be like Captain Cook and come out and get me. So I've got a quick quiz here. Quick questions. Number 1, how much is a Middlesbrough home top at the moment?
Oh, I think they're on sale at the moment.
Yep, 50% off.
Yeah, I'm going to say 35 quid.
£24.
Oh.
Number 2, when was the club founded?
Originally, 1872 or 6.
6. So how old are they now?
Well, I'm not very good at maths, but I'll just show you this. I don't know if you can see that badge. You'll see 86. It says 1986 because we actually were liquidated in 86 and came back. Oh. So it's only that 1872 has only started to appear on 1876. Sorry, it's only started to appear on badges in the since 2007, 7 or 8 season.
Yeah, right.
Until then, it was always 1986.
There you go. When this is my Wikipedia quiz. When did they move to the current stadium at Riverside?
Yeah, that was 1995. 94, 95. 94 was the last game at Ayson Park.
Correct. And what is the capacity?
Oh, geez. I'm going to say the capacity is 35.
34,742. Very close. You don't get the chocolates there.
That's
the current manager's name
is Woodgate.
Right. What's his wife's first name?
Mrs. Woodgate.
It's Natalie, but I'll
Lisa?
give you that.
Oh, Lisa was close.
It's got an L. The current shirt sponsor is.
It's it's something.com. Yeah, it's a betting site, which we've had a few of.
Well, the real question is, for number 5, what are the other sponsors they considered at the time before they got 32 Red?
Oh, that's a tough one. I can't imagine it would have been. It would have been other betting sites, I'd imagine.
No, it was John's Local Milk. John's Local Milk.
That sounds. It was either that or bacon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just bacon.
The Middlesbrough Council slogan is moving forward. What's the current temperature there in the Middlesbrough Council offices?
As in the actual temperature, as in the climate temperature, or just I'm going to say over there right now 16. Correct.
Yes, correct. You're relegated from First Division 4 times, equal with clubs. Which are the 3 clubs?
Have been relegated that many times?
Yeah, 4 times it says, equal with...
Sunderland.
Yep.
Hull.
No.
No.
Starts with N, ends in Orich.
That would be Newcastle. No, Norwich.
Yep.
And wow, Crystal Palace.
Certainly. Who won 2004 Carling Cup against Bolton? That's Middlesbrough. What was the score in the 6th minute?
Yep.
What was the score in the 6th minute?
2-0 to the Borough.
1-0. 7-0.
1-0.
The 7th minute I was winning there. How many times has Shakespeare been performed in Middlesbrough?
Shakespeare, how many times did he perform, or has Shakespeare in general
been performed?
In Middlesbrough, I'd say it's got a bit of an arts thing to it. I'm going to say a couple of times.
7. And who is the greatest?
That's close. That's not a bad guess.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's 5 off. Who's the greatest Middlesbrough player?
I reckon people would probably say Janino.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
What was the answer? Or are you're just agreeing with it?
Wait on, just looking up mattoneil.com. Yep, that's correct. Well done, sir. You've done your research.
Thank you.
Have you got any memorabilia from Middlesbrough?
I don't have any memorabilia from Middlesbrough. And this thing I've got is in the shed, but I have a signed England shirt.
Oh yeah.
From 2000 when I got it as a 21st birthday present. It's all framed and everything. It's locked up in the shed because it's probably worth a bit, but it's got some legendary players on there, like David Beckham was on there, Michael Owens, Steven Gerrard, Alan Shearer, the current England manager Gareth Southgate. Like they're all on there.
What year was this? What year was this?
2000.
And what's this story I hear about you going back for 3 days or something for an England match?
Yeah, this is pretty. I reckon this is. I wonder if this will be the most nuts fan story that you have. Me, my brother, and my old man, we went back to purely for the purpose of watching England play in a World Cup qualifier against Croatia at Wembley. We'd never been to the new Wembley before. I've been to the old one, but not the new one. And we flew over there, arrived in there about 6 o'clock in the evening, went to bed, woke up like 5 in the morning. Next morning, went around London. Then the next day, went to the match. And then the day after that, went home. And that was it. So we were there. Yeah, I think we stayed 1, 2. Yeah, we were there 3 nights.
You wouldn't even have time to get jet lagged. You would have got back to Australia within 5 days of leaving.
I was pretty ill when I got home. I was pretty sick because it really had and you know, this is a bit cheeky, but we travelled business class there and back, which sounds like it would be wonderful, like laid in because you were laid in a bed, but it still wrecks your body. And I just remember getting off the flight in Melbourne. Are you still paying off the
tickets for this experience?
No, it was a birthday. So I was turning 30, and my little brother was turning 21, and the old man did it as a birthday present. So we're pretty lucky, but it was a bit mad, yeah. So what I should say, so we paid for our own tickets when we got to the airport. Our old man said, "Oh, I got you upgrades for your birthday," and we were like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Oh, but, so he paid still the lower
so
end.
Business class.
And he upgraded it. So
we were going to do economy there and back. That's what we were prepared to do, me and my brother. But yeah, our old man had for our birthday had upgraded us both. So it was pretty cool. But like I said, there's nothing, man. There's nothing. You still feel like shit at the other end. So yeah. But that was nuts. And England won 5-1. So that was cool.
Worth it.
And I had a bet on England to win 4-1, and England scored the 5th goal in like the 3rd minute of injury time, and I was devastated. But overall, cool trip.
Yeah, awesome. So quickly, we're coming to the end now. What is, as far as comedy goes, what I'm interested in is when people's career or the thing they do overlaps with sports. So is there like when I have a bad gig, I think, like I said before, I think it's just a bad match. It's how you back up the next match next week is always next week, and try to do better the next week. What's your sort of philosophy behind comedy and sort of sport? Does one lend to the other? Do you think in terms of sport, or do you get super competitive with other comedians, or do you want to, do you think of them as trials, or, do you think of something as grand finals, big matches?
I think one of the frustrating things with comedy is, which is different sport. Like in sport, if you're good at what you do, you generally get recognised for that. And I wouldn't say that's the case with comedy or perhaps maybe show business necessarily, because there's a lot more politics involved, and you can go out and get some really good gigs and still bomb, and it won't matter because the people running the gig, so that's fine. But if you did that in sport, you'd be buggered. You'd be found out, and you'd have to put the better player in. What I do equate with it is probably like, you're only as good as your next gig, which is what we used to say with football, is you're only as good as your next game. So that's probably a philosophy I've carried over, I think. But other than that, I work a lot harder at comedy than I did at football. I was way too lazy, but I don't know. Is that what you're kind of looking for? That kind of
and absolutely. It's not much time to get too in depth, but absolutely. That's it touches on exactly.
I mean, I talk about this a lot with a guy called Billy Stiles, comedian on the scene. He was apparently a really good AFL player, tennis player, and we approach it a lot like sport in that regard, the way we talk about it, and it is frustrating when you kind of think, well, if it doesn't always seem like the best players get the best gigs. I guess that's what you could say.
Yeah, it's not very meritocracy. It's not meritocratic.
No. Like even Ronaldo would struggle. You know what I mean?
As a comedian,
even Messi. Yeah, even Messi would struggle.
Do you think it's a language barrier thing, or?
Probably. I'd imagine that would be funny though. Oh no, that's just me.
Probably funnier than some of my bombs.
That's just racist old me.
There we go. There we go. That's the end. Full time. We got some overtime here. Matt, what is your favourite? What is your absolute favourite sports movie?
Escape to Victory. Easy.
Escape to Victory?
Yeah.
Escape to Victory. What is that about?
That's got Michael Caine, Sylvester Stallone, Pele, some other players you probably won't. You football, soccer.
Oh, okay.
Based on a true story about a
Sylvester
team
Stallone,
of allies playing against a team of Nazis. Sylvester Stallone and Michael Caine.
Is that the way where Adam Sandler has to play the guards to get out of prison?
No, that's
Vinnie Jones.
What's that called?
Mean Machine.
That's what was that? That was Mean Machine. Yeah, that was a remake of an older film, which was about American football in prison. But no, Escape to Victory is based on a true story of from World War II.
Yeah, right.
And the Nazis played against a team of allies. So the funny story with it is Sylvester Stallone was supposed to be the guy who scored the winning goal.
Yep.
But he was that terrible at football, they decided to put him in goals. And so they changed the script so that Sylvester Stallone saved the penalty in the last minute.
That's hilarious.
So it's kind of a bad film, but people who love football, just my age, generally love Escape to Victory.
Yeah, too easy. All right, we've got 1 minute left. We're in overtime. I just want to give you a big. What are your plans? We'll put all your social media, your website. What's your website? Its website is mattoneil.com.
It's mattoneilcomedy.com.
MattO'NeillComedy.com. We'll put that up a bit later. And I just want to give you a big thank you, Matt, for coming on. We'll get you on again. There's some more to talk about. Your dad and your grandfather were pro players, and certainly a lot more to tap into that. But can you give us can you do a little promo for us? Next week we've got Aaron Gox coming on, Brisbane Broncos fanatic and St Kilda fanatic. Give us a 10-second promo for Aaron Gox next week.
Aaron Gox. Oh, well, there you go. He's a big name. He's a bigger name than I am. Goxy Aaron Goxy. Talking about footy and what are the Broncos NRL? Is that right?
Yeah. Got 20 seconds
left.
Go.
You'll have people more interested in that than football in Middlesbrough, even though Captain Cook came from Middlesbrough and he's probably solely responsible for you all being here and possibly the creation of AFL in general. So maybe, give thanks. I don't know, just give us a like, whatever.
Too easy. 10 seconds. Big thanks to everyone for tuning in to episode 1 of My Life of Sport. This will be uploaded a bit later.
I played a year of Resies in the Ballarat comp. That's almost AFL standard, really. It's not that big of a gap.